Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Do I have to get it on my phone?
Putin.
What first?
Oh, are you supposed to have outcome class or we are going to see a movie on it?
No, we're gonna have fun.
Is it a movie session or a
No. Where are we? What canto? What chapter?
7.2.2.
722?
Yeah.
Do we have?
Hey, where is seven country here? I'm not spelling seven country.
We have it downstairs.
Where is seven country? Sorry.
Seven. Oh, no, that's 7. And I can get it. I'll get it later. What's the name?
What's that? Different story.
722.
Somebody is stealing Bhagavatam from Avtaram.
Well, what happens is the set is opened and then it gets scattered around and then it's not a set anymore.
No, but there's a single copy.
I know they get scattered around the temple. It's not very good.
Here it is, Project. Project, here it is. Can you put it here on the desk?
Chedam Rushapurna Sandashta Dashanachara Kopotalavyam Chakshurvyam
Opo Jalabhyam Chakshurvyam
Niriksham Ambaram
Niriksham Dhumram Ambaram
Aha Chedam Rushapurna
Ahachedam Rushapunaha
Sandashta Dashanachara
Kandashta Dashanachadaha
Kopo Jvalabhyam Chakshurvyam
Kopo Jvaladvyam Chakshurvyam
Nirikshan Dumram Ambaram
Nirikshan Dhumramambaram
Aha Chedam Rushapurna
Ahachedam Rushapunaha
Dashta Dashanachadaha
Sandashta Dashanachadaha
Jvalabhyam Chakshurvyam
Kopo Jvaladvyam Chakshurvyam
Nirikshan Dumram Ambaram
Nirikshan Dhumramambaram Ahachedam Rushapunaha
Aha Chedam Rushapurna
Sandashta Dashanachadaha
Dashta Dashanachadaha
Kopo Jvaladvyam Chakshurvyam
Jvalabhyam Chakshurvyam
Niriksham Dhumramambaram
Nirikshan Dumram Ambaram. Others, please chant.
Ahachedam Rushapurna
Chedam Rushapurna
Dashta Dashanachada
Sandashta Dashanachadaha
Apojvaladbhyam Chakshurbyam
Kapajvaladvyam Chakshurvyam
Shan Dhumram Ambaram
Nirikshan Dumram Ambaram. Aha said Cha
and
Idam this Rusha with anger Purna full Sandashta bitten Dashanachada whose lips Kopa Ujvalabhyam blazing with anger Chakshurvyam with eyes Nirikshan looking over.
Looking over.
Over.
Dumram,
Dhumram.
smoky.
Smoky.
Baram,
Ambaram.
the sky.
The sky.
Filled with rage and biting his lips, Hiranyakashipu gazed at the sky with eyes that blazed in anger, making the whole sky smoky. Thus he began to speak. Repeat after me. Filled with rage and biting his lips.
Filled with rage and biting his lips.
Hiranyakashipu gazed at the sky
Hiranyakashipu gazed at the sky
with eyes that blazed in anger,
with eyes that blazed in anger,
making the whole sky smoky.
making the whole sky smoky.
Thus he began to speak.
Thus he began to speak.
Purport. As usual, the demon is envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and inimical toward him. These were Hiranyakashipu's external bodily features as he considered how to kill Lord Vishnu and devastate his kingdom, Vaikuntha-loka. Let me look at the next verse too.
It's looking like we are doing a studio recording of Bhagavatam.
What?
Looking like a studio recording of Bhagavatam. We both are assisting you to record it for the future people. Looking like a studio recording of Bhagavatam class.
Oh, the translation.
But you're going to cover the next verse also.
I want to look at it. Is there? No, there's no purport. What the next one?
Next.
See if the next one has a purport too. No, okay. Let's go back to 2. Verse, yeah. Om again, Timarandasha, Gananjana, Shalakaya, Chakshurmilitam Yena, Tachmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam, Apitam Yena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Kadamayam, Dadati Swapadantikam, Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Dita Padakamalam, Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Sha, Shri Rupam Sagaratam, Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam, Advaitam Savadutam, Paritana Sahitam, Krishna Chaitanya Devam, Shri Radha Krishna Padam, Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha, He Krishna Karuna Sindhu, Dinabandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namostute, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanu Suti Devi, Pranamami Hari Priye, Vanchakalpatrubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha, Patitanam Bhavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As usual, the demon is envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and inimical toward him. And that's one of the first things I learned when I talk about direct preaching to new people. One of the first things they told me the first time I came to the temple at 18 years old, I had already read the Bhagavad Gita as it is, and I was convinced, I knew that this is. But then anyway, I came. I was just a new kid, and they gave me prasadam, talked to me for a while, showed me all around the temple, and they preached to me. A lot of the preaching was about Prabhupada, and Krishna equally, but it was definitely about talking about this is Prabhupada. He's our spiritual master. He's a pure devotee of Krishna, from sent by Krishna to preach, and at that time, everybody was reading books, like autobiography of a yogi by Paramahamsa, Paramananda, and Yogananda, and some other books by all these other yogis, incarnations, and the terms are thrown around very loosely. Like he's a great soul. He's a self-realized soul. He's an incarnation. He's this. He's that. The terms are just like, and it's impressive. It sounds impressive to a new person, especially to somebody who has no familiarity with Indian or what to speak of Vedic culture, not even Indian culture. Nobody had any familiarity at all. Hardly anybody had ever been to India. And so anyway, it's, you see pictures of yogis meditating and matted locks and or giving lectures, and and it's very easy to be impressed by them, and people were impressed by them. I told you the other day, I talked to the other day about, I don't know if either of you, neither of you were here, I don't think, maybe, but I read some quotes from Vivekananda the other day, and he was, he's like came in the late 1800s to the United States, and he's like one of the first exponents of Vedic, so-called Vedic wisdom and knowledge, and he's a disciple of Ramakrishna, or Ramakrishna is a disciple of him, or
Disciple of Ramakrishna.
yeah. And there's that story Prabhupada tells about how Ramakrishna touched him, and then when he touched him, he passed out. You know the story.
All energy.
What? And
all potency.
All my potency went from me into you. And Prabhupada ridicules that idea. But you don't lose your. Oh, you need. You don't. No, it's okay if you need it. You don't lose your potency by giving Krishna consciousness to other people. You gain more potency. The more you preach, the more you distribute Krishna consciousness, the more Krishna is pleased with us, and the more potency it gives us. Prabhupada ridiculed that idea. But we didn't know any of that. We didn't know impersonal Vaishnava, personal, impersonal. All we know is this is an impressive looking person, seems very sure of himself, and he's using a language and words that I've never heard before. And so people were very easily impressed, and they gain a following. Paramahamsa, Yogananda, and many others. And anyway, I read some quotes from Vivekananda the other day, and they were all just completely, I can recognize now as just impersonalism. He said one of them was something like, neti neti, this is the way to arrive at the absolute truth. Well, it's not the way, it's completely, again, everything that we preach. It's not neti neti. It can eliminate things from
Krishneti Krishna.
But
Our process is Krishneti Krishna.
Krishneti Krishna. It's not this, it's not that. It's ours is very direct. It's this person. And but if you don't know any better, if you don't read, if nobody reads, nobody had read Prabhupada's books, so nobody knew anything. So okay. We follow his following. Anyway, there's so much misinformation. It's the nature of Kali Yuga. Everyone is a cheater. Everyone is cheating, and everyone is being cheated. And one thing I was thinking about the other day, and this is the impersonal idea of the absolute truth. One reason it's very attractive to the conditioned soul is why it's not an accident or just people are stupid, that so many people are attracted by the idea of oneness with God. It's basically it's what we want. We don't, or what we don't want is to serve Krishna, and what we do want is to be one with. We do want to be God. So if somebody who sounds like they know what they're talking about says, "Yeah, you're one. You are one. You are God. You are one with everything," and we like that. Conditioned soul likes that. And so it's not, and the impersonal idea is the greatest exponent of it is Sankaracharya, who is directly an incarnation of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva has, if I'm in, it's like Jayadvaita Swami. Everyone knows Jayadvaita Swami. So he's well known for being able to take either side of any question and in a debate and convince and be very convincing on either side of like an important philosophical point. So he's got very extremely intelligent, and he has the potency to convince you. So, and it's like Krishna when Rikasura had the benediction from Shiva that anyone's head he touched would crack immediately. And so he went to Krishna in the form of what incarnation did he go to in Vikasura?
There are two things. One, I think Mohin Murthy and us. One is small Brahman.
What did you ask? Vritrasura what?
Vitasura went to one incarnation.
Lord came as incarnation.
Yeah. And
One as a small Brahman, and other places it is also mentioned Lord came in the form of some Mohin Murthy or some female.
yeah, not knowing him, it's the little brother.
Vritrasura.
Not
Vitasura.
Vrikasur.
Vrikasura.
Vikasura.
Small Brahmana boy.
Small Brahmana.
Small
And
Brahmana.
that was Krishna. And Krishna, and he
Once one on the form of a woman also.
Yeah, there are
and that's the
two.
difference.
No, both
Well, I'm only talking about this one.
Okay.
Brahmana boy.
Brahmana boy.
And he said, I have this power. I get this benediction from Lord Shiva, and anyone's head I touch will crack immediately. And Krishna is like, oh, come on, you don't believe that, do you? He didn't give you that benediction, and he said, why don't you try it on your own head? So it's like, well, he didn't go, I don't know about that. That doesn't sound like a very good idea. What if it does work? But he was just convinced by Krishna, because nobody can be more convincing than Krishna. And so Krishna told him, try it on yourself. So he tried it on himself, and his head cracks, and he dies. Anyway, so yeah, so if Krishna wants to convince us, Krishna convinces all the jiva souls that this is where we belong. Material world is where we belong. Krishna can, with his yoga, Mahamaya energy, he convinces all the conditioned souls that you're this lump of matter. You're if I try to convince you that you're a car, you would probably be a little skeptical of that. But every conditioned soul is immediately convinced. As soon as they're put into a material body, they're convinced. I'm this lump of matter. It's ludicrous, but that's the power of Krishna's illusory energy. So anyway, Lord Shiva is also a guna avatar, guna avatar of Krishna. He's almost Krishna. He's in his own category. Shiva Tattva, and he's extremely powerful, like Krishna, and not quite like Krishna. But he's extremely powerful, and if you come and Sankaracharya is an incarnation of Lord Shiva. So he's the main exponent of the impersonal idea. And so he's very convincing. So many people fall for it, although it's not true. But first of all, that's what we want. We want to be convinced of that. We have an expression and a saying in English: a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. I mean, you know what that means. You're arguing with somebody and you're giving them all your best arguments, and if he doesn't surrender now, he's just a fool. He's just stupid. But he might, But if he doesn't want to be convinced, he'll never be convinced. But the conditioned soul does like to be convinced that he is one with God. So if somebody comes and tells him that, somebody that's apparently respectable, he'll say, "Oh, good, thank you. I like that. I guess I am God. I guess I am one with God." And one reason it's so easy to accept it is because it's very close to the truth. We are one with God. It's just a little bit off from the truth. The truth is that yes, achintya beta beta tattva. That's the reality, the truth. But leaving out the beta part and just going with the abeta part, I'm non-different from God. So it's pretty close. It's almost. Anyway, it's very easy. So everyone has impersonal tendencies. We were talking about the Sahajiya tendency the other day, and everyone has some Sahajiya tendencies in them, and everyone has some impersonal tendencies in them. Every conditioned soul has lust, everyone has greed, every conditioned soul is influenced by greed and anger, enviousness and anger. Everyone, every conditioned soul. And that's one of the first things they told me when I came to the temple, is that you're in the material world because you were envious of Krishna. And you wanted to be Krishna, you wanted to be God, and I'm there thinking, I don't know who God is, and I don't remember being envious of God. I don't know who God is. How am I envious of him? I was kind of humble and submissive, and I'm like, well, all right, okay, maybe. But he was very convinced himself. It's true from Prabhupada's books. He was saying exactly what Prabhupada says, and what is there in the Bhagavad Gita as it is, which I had read already. Of course, I didn't. I read it, and I was very impressed, and I accepted it as the absolute truth. But I really didn't absorb very much, specifically from the first reading of Bhagavad Gita. But it's all there in the Bhagavad Gita. The living entity is born into the material world, overcome by the dualities of desire and hate. The desire is the desire to be Krishna, and the hatred is hatred of Krishna. And everything is right there in the Bhagavad Gita. But to hear it said directly, face to face, one person to another, was a little bit, I wouldn't say shocking, but a little bit, jolting, which is like shocking. But it's like jolting. Me? I was envious of Krishna. I wanted to be Krishna. Well, okay, you people seem to know what you're talking about. It's like that. But anyway, that's direct. It's pretty direct preaching to a new man.
I also could not accept this.
Yeah.
Here I have because of envy we have left Krishna. I was thinking, why? I don't have envy for God. Why? I love God. I love him. Why should I have envy for him?
I didn't think I loved God. I didn't know anything about God. I was just thinking, like, I don't know God. Now I'm envious of him. I don't even know him. Anyway, there's so many adventures in Krishna consciousness. Just to get myself in, there's so many things we hear that are so different, like diametrically opposed to everything we've heard and accepted and believed and known. You're not that body. That's as simple as it gets. You're not that body. And it's so obviously true. But still, it's so radically different than everything we've thought for, and not only thought, but known for millions of lifetimes. So everything in Krishna consciousness is shocking to the conditioned soul. But every conditioned soul is able to absorb any kind of shock because we're being shocked back to reality. We're not being shocked into something that's false. We're being shocked into reality. So every condition, every jiva soul is able. They may not want to. I wanted to. You wanted to. But most people, they don't want to accept the shocking new, air quotes, new reality. No, most people don't want to accept it, but every jiva soul is capable of accepting the truth.
I was thinking, they told me this material world is like a prison.
Yeah,
What
that's
is this? I was thinking, I
Yeah.
came to an IT Warangal. I was thinking, now I've got the success of my life, and they're telling you you're in prison.
Yeah, that's a shocking thing to hear.
I was telling to my brother, they tell like this. We are in prison house. So
Yeah. But that's definitely true. Anyway, so the demon is, and as usual, Hiranyaka, the demon, is envious of Krishna. Hiranyakashipu is envious, and along with envy goes anger. The envious person is always a great deal of anger that goes along with him because he's envious. So Krishna doesn't like the idea, and doesn't like Hiranyakashipu really didn't like the idea that Krishna is that never mind Krishna, that there's anyone superior to him. He wanted to be supreme above everyone, and for a time being, he sort of was. He wasn't supreme over Lord Brahma, but demons had conquered the demigods, and Hiranyakashipu was sitting on Lord Indra's throne, and so he in a sort of, is supreme, but and that's what he wanted. He didn't want anyone to be over him. So, and when he hears anybody talks about Krishna to him like his own son, it really hurts when it's your own son who's preaching to you. Like when I became a devotee, I went home and I preached to my father and mother, and very like, I was like, yeah, I know the truth. I know. I did. I knew the truth. Yeah, I know the truth. And I got to tell my mother and father and everyone, all my friends and everything. I got to tell them because they're still in ignorance. They're still in Maya. So it's my duty to tell them. So I try to preach to my father and mother, and it didn't go over well at all. I mean, they don't like to be instructed by by anyone, but especially they don't want to be instructed by their own kid. And especially not on something important like, oh, you think you know something that we don't know. We're your father and mother, and we've been in religion and studied religion our whole lives. We know all this stuff. Who are you to preach to us? Anyway, it didn't go over well. It created some what people would call now some negative energy. It wasn't good. But anyway, the demons, they don't like, they're envious of Krishna. Everyone is envious of Krishna. That's why we're here in the material world. Enviousness of Krishna. So
I also preached.
To your father and mother.
Mother, I remember I kept telling. Became late and all that, hearing. Saying, can I sleep? I said,
Can I go to sleep?
here. No, this is there. No, the spiritual topic has come. And after all that, nothing. And I told my mother, session 1, session 2, all that I gave, cut. So much argument, this and that. And he said, what are you speaking looks quite logical, but I won't accept it.
Yeah.
He said clearly.
Most conditioned
It
soul.
look logical, but
I'm sure your mother is a very nice lady, an Indian lady with pure habits and everything, but she's like, no, sounds good, but I'm not going to accept
No, this
it.
is my brother.
Your brother?
Brother said like this.
Oh, I thought you said you were talking.
First, I was saying to mother, then I was speaking to my cousin brother.
Yeah.
The cousin brother told this thing, it may be looking logical, but I won't accept it.
Yeah.
That's why my cousin brother.
Anyways, then
mother, I forcefully made her chant also.
Yeah.
She told, but beta, my mouth is paining. Chanting.
But she chanted. Anyways, let me continue for a few minutes. Anyways, envy is there. Don't take envy lightly. It's not that the devotees are here. All the devotees here are great souls. The devotees are all very nice, pure Brahminical people, very advanced in spiritual understanding. But we're still affected by envy. We're still affected by lust, greed, anger, envy, impersonalism, sahajiism. We have all the infections still in us to a very reduced extent. But they're still there. It's like a person is sick and he's getting well, but the germs or virus is still in them and it's still infecting them to some degree. It's being reduced to nothing. It will be, like the Bhagavatam verse says, by regular attendance in Bhagavatam class, everything that is troublesome to the heart is reduced practically to nil, almost to nil. And so anyway, it's not like we have a huge infection of envy or lust, greed, anger still, but it's still there. There's still some effects there in the heart, and unless you were sent directly by Krishna to preach on his behalf, most of us weren't. Then we still have all these things left in us. So we take it seriously. We don't. It's like when you take an antibiotic. They say, make sure you take this antibiotic for the full course, 7 days. But because after a couple of days you start feeling a lot better, and the infection seems to be going away. So sometimes people stop taking they don't take it that seriously anymore, and they stop. So then the infection can come back stronger. So anyway, so we take it seriously. We don't stop. We always chant Hare Krishna. We always see the deities and cook for the deities and dress the deities. We always preach and distribute books. We never stop those things, and and ultimately we will become pure devotees. The purity is there in the heart of we are pure at heart.
We are all pure devotees.
All the jiva souls are pure, part and parcel of Krishna eternally. You just have to cleanse the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguish the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. You just have to keep chanting. All the impurities will go away, will be purified, and we'll be free from all the envy. But for now, we have to be aware of the envy, aware of all these things, and not think prematurely that we're very advanced, or prematurely that I'm so pure at heart I don't have any envy. But anyway, I always tell this story, but it's my favorite story about envy. And it's from Prabhupada. I've told it many times before. You all know what I think. But it's really good. It's funny, but it's very instructive.
One eye,
What?
2 eyes.
No, the two men were talking about another man they know. They both know
No.
a friend of theirs, and one man said, he said, "Yeah, this friend of this other man, he's a high court judge now." And the first friend said,
He must not be getting that kind.
yeah, the other friend said, he said, no, I don't believe it. He could be. And the other guy said, yeah, he is. I've seen him. He's a high court judge. And then he said, well, he must not be getting any salary. But it's funny, but it's how the mind of the conditioned soul works. It's exactly how the envious mind works.
Taking sannyas now.
It's too soon. He just got.
He's taking sannyas.
Oh my God! Bring back.
He's taking sannyas too.
He didn't grow it. It fell. Anyways, it's not an exaggeration. That's exactly how the mind of the conditioned soul works. This person is doing good, and I can see this person is chanting his japa really nice. I can see this person is very intent on.
His mind must be wandering.
Yeah, but he's probably falling asleep chanting. And
Even if not falling asleep, his mind may be wandering.
his mind is wandering. He's thinking about when he's out of college, he's going to get all this money and have a beautiful wife and have a nice Lexus to drive. That's what he's thinking about. He's not really thinking. He's not really. That's how the mind of the. Like you see somebody doing good, and you gotta find some way to put him down. Yeah, I can see he's doing good there. But he's in this way. He doesn't wash his hands before he serves out. He gets more prasadam for himself. Or he stayed up. I heard him talking last night to somebody, and it sounded like Prajalpa to me.
How do you know the mind of conditioned soul?
I'm one. I know myself.
No.
We're all the same. It's not like there's a lot. It's not like there's a lot of different kinds of conditioned soul. There's only one kind, and we all got the same disease, the same symptoms. The presentation, how it presents, varies from person to person, but we all got the same disease. We all got the same symptoms. Okay, let's stop there. Any other things to say?
Yesterday-
Anyways, one thing I wanted to tell you about was we were talking about preaching directly to new people, and I was talking about that wasn't all. There were so many things that they told me. Like the first time I came to the temple, they were just very, just direct, and not just extremely direct. I remember one time when I was at the temple, and I had been coming for a little while periodically. And I was at the temple one day, and I told this other brahmachari, is a friend of mine. He knew me. I knew him. He was a real nice devotee. I forget what his name, which one I talked to, but I said, okay, well, it was like the afternoon, and I said, well, I got to go home now. We're doing something with my friends tonight. My friends back in Framingham that I knew in high school, and it wasn't a Krishna conscious friendship. It was all, I won't go into details, but it wasn't the most elevated type of life. And I said, well, I gotta leave now. I gotta go hang out with my friends. And he looked at me right in the eye and he said, they're not really your friends, you know. And I was that's really direct. And I knew exactly what he was saying. I knew what he meant. They're not helping me. Anyone who's not helping you in Krishna consciousness can't be your friend. I knew the philosophy by then. I knew he was right. I still went home on that occasion, hung out with my friends. But I mean, that's pretty direct preaching. Here's this group of people I hang around with, known them for years, and we consider ourselves friends. And he goes, they're not really your friends, you know.
I would study in the morning, my college study. So the devotee who came, I was in first year. He told, so what do you do in the morning? I told, I study. Early morning hours are very good for studies I'm doing. He said, at the time of death, will that alpha beta gamma will help you?
Yeah.
I told, I thought I should be appreciated for my dedication to study.
Yeah, look at me, I'm a good
You should
student.
chant Hare Krishna in the morning. Studying what? Early morning.
Yeah, like
I'm not even chanting one round that time.
Narada Muni met Magari the hunter, and he said, you're doing this for your family, for your wife and kids. Are they going to help you? Are they going to take your karma? And Magari is sort of, well, probably not. Anyways, direct preaching is good. Of course, you got to be sensitive. You got to understand them. You got to listen to them, but you got to make some really, really direct, forceful points. You're not your body. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Your pure spirit soul, eternally part and parcel of Krishna. Our duty as pure spirit souls is to serve Krishna, the source of our existence, the source of everyone's existence. You can be direct in a decent way, but you should make some direct points. And don't be, yeah, okay. Let's stop there.
Six Bhagavad Gita went.
What?
6 Bhagavad Gita and 2 Science of Separation books.
Bhagavad-
Yesterday I went for book discussion.
All right.
6 Bhagavad Gita and 2 Science of Separation.
We used to announce the book distribution score is after Tulsi Puja in the morning.
When?
Years ago,
Oh.
in the 70s, 80s, somebody.
So it was in front of deities or?
Yeah.
In front of deities?
Yeah, I don't know if the curtains were open or closed.
Open. In all temples, it is when the curtains are open. Because for the pleasure of deities, no? They announced.
Yeah, I know. They always said that, but they might have already closed the curtains to address the deities. Anyway, the deities.
Should we do here?
It would be it's traditional ISKCON thing to do.
Should we do after Nasimati? When the just before cutting closed?
Well, I mean, yeah, it would be, if we can do it, let's do it.
It will not take much time.
No, it doesn't take much time. Back then we had like 10 or 15 book distributors, Every day now we don't have many people distributing
No, but
books.
they're there. We have to just get them in.
What?
They're there. We have to just get them in.
Exactly. Varuna distributes books.
Pitamaku did not understand what I said.
Hmm.
You understood? Okay.
All the book distributors are out there.
We have to just get them in.
They just don't know they're book distributors.
Yesterday, one lady came and said that you met me in the public garden. You gave me a book. So I said, I want some book on Krishna. He said to me, I did not know. I don't remember also. Then she said that, where is it Krishna with the boy who plays the flute?
Yeah.
I was feeling so happy, that somebody is recognizing Krishna.
Krishna is known to everyone. We've forgotten, it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of surprising and shocking when somebody not brought up in India knows something about Krishna. All of a sudden they come, but we shouldn't be shocked. Everyone is an eternal part and parcel of Krishna.
Mm. And she was looking for Krishna. She was telling that, is there any book on Krishna? I want to know about Krishna. Then I told a big Krishna book. I think she did not have money or something, but she was looking for Krishna. Seems so nice.
Okay. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Uh,
Welcome, Vishnu.